Bueno, paletitas, le tengo la mala noticia que esta temporada se está derritiendo y we're going to take a little bit of a break for season 2.
We'll be back on May 5th, but in the meantime, catch up on all the episodes you missed. Let us know what you want to see in season 2, because we want to know.
Please tell your tias, your primos, everyone to tune in as well, and make sure you keep up on social media at Las Paleteras Podcast.
See you soon.
Oli, oli, paletitas. Welcome back to another episode of Las Paleteras conmigo, Nalgona.
I'm Ana-Shelia.
Yo, Cesar Camacho.
Y somos las paleteras, amigas. Así que welcome back to another episode. But listen, yo, what y'all don't know and what's really happening out here is that we haven't been together in a couple of weeks since filming our first episode. So I was curious. ¿Qué show? ¿Qué cuentan? What's new with you all?
¿Qué contamos?
Ahora que tenemos viewers, bitch. We got viewers.
We got viewers. We got paletitas.
¿Pero qué cuentan? ¿Qué hay de nuevo?
Well, I started therapy after like episode 2.
I love that.
But I love my therapist. He's so cool. I feel like it. No se nota that I've changed.
You haven't.
I think you got to go a little more.
I gotta go another like 2 months, right? It's once a week. Once a week.
Okay, you need like 3 more sessions.
Para que se note la
Para que se note.
diferencia. I'm done.
That's funny.
That's kind of my update, yeah. No, it's been good. I feel like I've learned a lot. I feel like I didn't think I was gonna have a lot to talk about. Because the first couple of times, it's every Monday at noon, so I talk about my weekends. But now he's like challenging me and like asking all these deep questions that I'm like, yeah, I'll think about it later and come back to you next week.
Not too redirecting. Deflecting.
You talk about your weekends. Okay.
No, yeah, because I see it Mondays, so it's like...
Right, but it's like, let's dig deeper. Y la otra,
like,
next
no.
Monday. That's cute.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been cute.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I feel like I think that's something that I started seeing my therapist again. Okay. I mean, but before we started recording, but like I've gotten to see her a lot more, and that's like so many new realizations. You think that you're done learning, but like it's never ending, no? And I think for me, the newer like sort of reflection, something I've been thinking about is how to deal with uncertainty, right? And I feel like in the past, I'm a Capricorn, you're a Capricorn. We can be very hard on ourselves, ¿verdad? I don't know if you resonate with that.
100%. I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah, so we're so hard on ourselves. And I think what I realized is like, I spend so much time like in the judgment of like, I should know what I'm doing, right? And then you spend so much time in the judgment that you're not giving yourself time to explore like what's there in what you don't know. You feel me? So like, and so that's what I've been kind of recentering is like, okay, there's so much to learn and explore and like what I don't know but I'm spending so much time judging what I don't know yet instead of like being kind of curious and exploring. So that's been like a big lesson for me. Like, let me explore instead of like spending so much time judging that I don't actually learn what there is to learn. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
That's real.
Like kind of like just kind of like facing, like exploring the I think a lot of like the tension between like societal expectations and also like what really fills my heart. And I think that for a long time when I started my career, it was very much about like, I followed a very much like a traditional career trajectory. Went to like an Ivy League school, like kind of followed that career. And then
Ivy League.
And then after that, like started like really thinking what really makes me happy. And then as I've gotten older, you kind of get this pressure of like, oh, but like, all my peers are doing this, I should be doing this. And so I've been like kind of dealing with that tension of getting older and kind of feeling, okay, well, I've been following my heart, but also like, I still have this pressure of like what I should be and kind of exploring that tension. And that's kind of like what I've been kind of focusing a lot on, just kind of finding what is that balance of like, life is real, but also like what really fills my heart. Because at the end, like, that's what we're here for. No?
Yeah, no, 100%.
So,
I love that.
I know I got a little deep there.
No, but I love that.
Yeah. ¿Y tú?
En la puta y vuelta. ¿Quieren?
But low key though, I feel like, okay, so a couple things. Damn, I'm gonna give it to y'all and not to like so Nalgona. But after, it's been fun watching a couple episodes and I realized that every time I come on here, I'm talking about some chacal. There's always a chacalito that comes up, pero pues ya tú sabes quién eres. Pero that was fun. Pero lo de la putivuelta was hilarious because I realized like, yeah, la putivuelta is for sure. It happens all the time. But then I realized that I made it to a whole nother level because sometimes a bitch be flying. So I'm like, ahora yo doy el putivuelo, bitch. Like,
Putivuelo, I can't.
I la putivuelta, but when you're at my level, putivuelo, bitch. I'm like,
That's
I
when
get-
you graduated, no?
Putivuelo.
Okay, pero what do you need to do?
Internacional.
What do you need to do to graduate from la putivuelta to el putivuelo?
Afuera,
Can you give us, I want to take some notes.
Economy and first class, el que sea, cuéntale, es lo mismo, es lo mismo.
No importa.
No importa el vuelo.
No importa el vuelo. Mientras esté ahí disponible, bebé.
El Volaris, Viva Aerobús, el que sea.
Or taking someone on a
Or-
trip. Like, baby,
Oh,
let's go
yeah,
to Cancun. It's not
that's
too far.
Ay.
Someone take me on the trip.
No, I got it. And I've just been laughing because I feel like my entire life I've been waiting for a sugar daddy and I've become the sugar mama. So I'm like,
Wait, have you taken somebody on a trip like that?
He's planning one.
Ay.
They're planning one.
Ay.
But I'm still looking for a sugar daddy, so.
es que, bitch, en
Mira,
México,
pero
es que en México sí
¿Sí
puedo.
me quieren patrocinar?
Ah, justo. Buscamos patrocinadores, por favor. Recuerden seguirnos a Las Paleteras Podcast.
Por favor.
We'll do a
Ay,
putivuelo.
All the
what if we do a
sponsorship.
segment like that? Where
Like
we
what?
bring on bachelors for Cesar.
Ahora. Actually, yeah, I'm kind of down.
Like a blind date.
Speed dating.
Can we
Ay, no,
do
Cesar.
that? Yes, we can do speed dating.
That would be so
Producers, can we do that? That'd be
cute.
cute. Anotadas para la próxima
Para la
temporada.
There's a
well,
few
today-
requirements. I'm kidding.
There's a few requirements. Shut up. Today I thought we could talk about something fun. Así como que it's been on my mind recently.
Yeah.
And I was like, it'd be kind of
Cuéntanos.
fun to share it with you all, and I'm curious to hear more. I thought we could talk about las rolas de nuestras vidas.
Las rolas
Así
de nuestras
esos
vidas.
rolones que dices, bitch. So I thought we could talk about music.
Okay.
Are you down?
Yes, we're down.
What's on your playlist? But so before we get into more of the deeper conversations, I thought we could do a little dinámica like las rapiditas, but this is about music. So you're going to say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Ustedes también ahí en casita empiecen a contestar, then send us all of your choices. So aquí va la primera pregunta. Ready?
Ay.
What is a song that makes you cry?
No llega el olvido. By Jenny.
Oh, wow. No llega. Oh, that's a bomb song.
That song by Rocío Dúrcal, of
Which
course.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
like literally about someone.
Oh,
I
Amor
can't-
Eterno.
Amor
I can't listen to
Eterno,
that song.
yeah.
Like not even. I've listened to
That's
it a million
true.
times, and I can't listen to that without crying. I have to
Okay.
like step
Amor
away.
Eterno.
But you know
Amor
what?
Eterno.
It's one of those things. It's like I know it's gonna make me cry, but like I still like to listen to it. You
No,
know?
it's a
like
beautiful
it's like
song.
I'm creating the space to be with my tears and to be with my grief and being with the beauty of
For
that.
sure.
You know.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yo no nací para amar de Juan Gabriel. I love that song. Okay, song that
Our running
reminds.
list.
Right. I mean, we're gonna add all these songs in the Paleteras playlist.
Oh, I love
Okay,
that.
right?
Hey, the
That's
first
So
Paleteras
what's up,
playlist.
Paleteras
What's
playlist?
up? What's up?
So a song that reminds you of your mama cleaning on a Sunday.
I don't have one yet.
Una de Ana Gabriel. Ana Gabriel song.
Any
honestly.
Ana Gabriel
Yeah,
song?
any Ana Gabriel
Ay.
song.
¿Cuál se llama este? No, forgot. ¿Cómo se llama la canción esta? La de Simplemente Amigos.
Oh,
That's a bomb Ana
yeah.
Gabriel
Qué manera
song.
de perder, tú.
Qué manera de perder. El cigarro.
El cigarro. No, la otra, la de ya. Es demasiado tarde.
Es demasiado
Yeah,
tarde.
My mom used to listen to a lot to Jose Jose, but I can't remember any of the songs. Can you guys give me a Jose
Like
Jose
El
song?
Triste,
Okay, sure.
La Almohada.
Okay.
O Joan Sebastián, too.
Joan Sebastián, Secreto de Amor.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Tatuajes.
Tatuajes. Tatuajes de tus besos llevo dentro de mi cuerpo. Shout
Okay,
out.
¿qué más, qué más, qué
I
más,
think
qué más?
mine,
What else you got?
anything la cumbia, la Aniceto Molina, la cumbia sampuesana,
Yeah.
that's a bomb. Okay, what's a song that makes you want to chupar a paleta? Así que dice...
Yo no hago esas cosas.
No, me encanta porque a los dos se les hizo agua a la boca. Pinches,
Yo
perdón.
no hago esas cosas.
Chupar
Okay.
paletas.
Chupar paleta.
What song? Una de la
No
Nicki
sé.
Minaj. No te creas.
Ay,
No sé. Una de Megan Thee Stallion, yo
Megan
creo.
Thee
no sé.
Stallion. Ari. Va, what
Es
is
un
it?
reggaetón song. Any reggaetón song.
Yes.
Low-key, así chupar paleta como la de Yo Quiero Bailar de Ivy Queen.
Oh,
Esa
yeah.
va- Así, pero chupando paleta mientras perreas,
I can
you
pic-
know.
I can
Hell
picture
Yeah, I can see that.
Así
I
que,
can picture
ah.
that.
Va a estar en el playlist. Va a empezar románticas.
Ey.
Chupar paletas. Para dormir.
A ver,
Lullaby.
what's the song that makes you want to like hacer el delicioso with? That you're like, uy.
I feel like I always put like a random reggaeton playlist when I have like guys over. Yeah.
Really? Reggaeton? Okay.
Or like
The speed, like
how-
a little
yeah,
more
I
energy.
need,
A little
like,
more
some-
energy.
Yeah. Or like, what's the vibe? Like vibey, like
Lo-fi?
No, not
Oh,
lo-fi.
I'm about to say.
R&B?
I was about to say, is Cesar really fucking out here to lo-fi? No,
Like house music.
Latin lo-fi.
No, I'm trying to,
lo-fi's like
no.
elevator
Neo
music.
soul? I don't know.
No, maybe like
soul.
soul. Yeah, I don't know, just like,
Okay.
I don't know.
Not too happy to
Some
read the
candy with
French
cheese or
music.
something, you know what I mean? Like that kind of vibe.
Oh, okay. I
More
can see it.
sensual.
Ándale. Or
Depends
like
on who it is.
Like R&B.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like R&B, yeah.
I definitely put 90s R&B on.
Oh, 90s. Okay.
Yeah, anything 90s or early 2000s.
I will say my favorite song.
My favorite song.
There's two. Rocket de Beyonce and Dance for You.
Oh my
Ooh,
God,
bitch.
dude. Beyonce does get,
Hey,
Tonight I'm
I feel like you
gonna
had some
dance
memories
for
that you were
you.
like reflecting on right now.
and I'm like, Beyonce?
What I wanted to think about and probably what get started, but the main question
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like for this episode is hopefully by the end of our conversation, we can all create like our top 5 songs that we are just, important in our lives for sure. So we'll talk a little about these things. But I'm curious to hear, we've talked about this a little bit. You said your mama and Ana Gabriel and Jose. What was
Yeah.
music like in your home? Like, did you listen to it? Like, who was playing? Like, did your dad have favorite music versus your mom, siblings? What was like the music vibe at home?
Yeah, I feel like for me, actually, my mom didn't play music that much, which is interesting.
Okay.
Pero mi papi, like for sure, he was very much. He's from Mexico City. He was from Mexico City, and he listened to a lot of like classic. It's funny. I feel like this is a Mexico City thing, but he listened to a lot of rock, like classic rock, and then a lot of cumbia. And so, like, I feel like that's what I like.
La sonidera,
That's
for
what
sure.
I was like growing up listening to, a lot of cumbia and I like classic rock. Beatles también.
The Beatles.
Yeah, a lot of Beatles. Yeah.
You know what's so funny? Just because you mentioned this, but my dad used to have like those CD towers.
Yeah, of course.
And I used to go through all of them and listen
Yeah.
to CDs. And it's so funny because I think a lot of my musical taste was
Yeah.
informed by the stupid musical tower. But
Yeah.
one of the albums that was there was the number 1.
Beatles?
Uh-huh.
Oh, me too. I have
Yeah,
that. We had that one.
And
we
then
had
it
that
was,
one.
I think it was Smooth Criminal, the Michael Jackson. I forgot.
Okay.
It was on Michael Jackson, greatest hits, it was.
Yeah.
And then he also had like the B-52s, Clearwater Revival, so I like CCR.
Okay.
But that's who also taught me about like Diana Ross, Gloria Gaynor, Tina Turner,
Yeah.
was my dad's fucking disc tower.
Yeah.
And then I remember I slowly started buying my own CDs and putting them at the bottom.
The bottom of the shelf.
Yeah. Like,
I
let me
didn't really
hide
listen
them.
to English music growing up. I feel like my parents only listened to like
Spanish?
Okay.
like
I know. I feel like
norteños,
you know. I feel like the range of music that you know is so
Yeah.
is so.
Like
it's
I grew
very
up with like all like the
Mexican.
80s, 90s like
Music?
Spanish singers.
Okay, so wait, who was really popular in the 80s and the 90s that you remember? Like your parents.
I don't know, like John Sebastian, Vicente,
Sebastian.
Ana Gabriel. I feel like all like the classical like Mexican art, like I don't know, like all the bandas too, like
Sí.
norteños.
Banda Recodo.
Yeah, Banda Recodo.
What do you-
Intocable. I feel like that's all my
Intocable.
grandpa and like my parents listened to.
Hilarious.
What do y'all remember like really touching? Like the first thing you're like, oh shit, this song hits. Like that you remember that like really.
Okay. I think that's a good song to add to the playlist.
Okay.
The songs that hits, like the song that hits.
Yeah.
For me, it will always be Abrázame Muy Fuerte by Juan Gabriel.
Okay.
Like I've literally said things like, I don't believe in marriage and I don't think I want to get married. Pero si hay alguien allá afuera que me pudiera cantar esa canción, bebé me caso. There's something about that song y cuando la hacen, you know, en casita, that part when the big band comes in, I say, pam, 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 and you're like, oh, my heart. No, it's a beautiful
Yeah.
song. Yeah.
Yeah. ¿Y tú?
What's that one song? Is it Así Fue?
De Juan Gabriel.
You know, like that saxophone or like that, like, there's like
Yes.
that part of the song que soy que está llorando the instruments. That part always gets me.
Oh. Not Juan
That's in
Gabriel,
Así
the
Fue,
song.
right?
Juan
Así Fue,
Gabriel.
sí.
Yeah.
What's the song that like hits you?
I think for me, the one where I remember I used to play over and over and over again, era At Last by Etta James.
I love Etta James.
Yeah. So I think for me, like I was soul, like what to me that was soul music, right? Jazz and mariachi, like those are the two
yeah. Mariachi
genres,
music
very
too, yeah.
different.
Sí.
But I feel like there was so much soul in both of them, and that's always been like for me,
Sí.
like what's like touched me is jazz music. And I used to play the trumpet when I was little, and
Oh, okay.
and so that's why like the mariachi, and I feel like in the trumpet, it's like it's really beautiful, right? Because it like blends,
Yeah.
it fuses. For me, it was fusing my two cultures. As an American, I was really drawn to jazz and then R&B. I think they're all kind of like
In that-
related, ¿verdad? And then mariachi. And the connection that the trumpet had in both of them, just to make such a beautiful, soulful
That's
music.
dope.
So for me, yeah, mariachi, like Vicente Fernandez, Alejandro,
Sí.
Pedro Fernández, ¿quién más? Pepe Aguilar. Like so many.
Oh, Pepe.
Yeah, Pepe. It's funny, Pepe Aguilar, because he's
Paquita.
like such a big man, but his voice is like very kind of feminine,
It's soft.
no? Like very
It's
soft.
like a very beautiful-
Yeah, but
I used to play the violin.
you play the violin.
Right.
I wanted to be in a mariachi, and then I gave up.
Are we about to have
I
a little
wish
like?
I would've
No, that's
stayed.
one of my goals is like in my this later part of my life is to pick up the trumpet again and
Really?
be in a mariachi, because
Oh, wow.
I've noticed that I really do like performing and I miss it. I used to when I was little, ¿verdad? I was like
Should
in
we,
the
like-
jazz band and then
That's
the
so funny.
marching band and shit. Like,
I was in orchestra for a little bit, and then
Oh,
I gave
cute.
up.
Stop, really?
Yeah, but I wish I would have kept going. I don't
Yeah,
know why
me
I
too,
didn't.
me too.
That's something to explore in therapy. Why'd
well,
you
why didn't you keep going? I know why I didn't keep going.
Well, I feel like I moved from like a very like Latino school to like a very white school, and I feel like there wasn't like that much like
But the vibe.
I don't know. I feel like there was like an identity crisis. when
Yeah,
I
for sure.
moved to
For
those
sure.
places.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
But-
That's so funny. I tried to play, and I say try because I did. And then I think it was more like my parents who just didn't want to hear the loudness of an instrument.
Yeah.
So they were like, stop.
Yeah,
But the flute,
that's cute.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know. It's the whole,
The little recorder. What was it? The one we had.
Nah, bitch, no tanto así. It was not flute, bitch. Like Lizzo, okay?
Yeah.
Wasn't the clarinet?
No,
I
the
get those
clarinet is
confused.
black. Ay, no. Estás bien pendeja.
But also resources. I feel like it was so. I wanted to do more music classes, but I felt like
Yeah.
financially my parents couldn't take me to piano.
Yeah,
Fair.
I mean that's true. That's true for
Guitar.
me because when I lived
Yeah.
in I lived in Chicago
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
little bit, and I used to play the piano, and we were able to access like piano lessons through the park, and it was really affordable. And then we moved to California, and there wasn't that same access to like affordable piano classes, so I actually stopped playing the piano.
No, that's fair.
Yeah,
It's
so that
expensive.
shit-
The
I
instruments are
know.
expensive too. Like you
They
pay
really
so
are.
much money for like an instrument and then the
Yeah.
classes and the
And
traveling.
then the shit rips.
Yeah.
And it
then-
didn't, yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't
but-
want to stress my parents out.
But I want to ask you because something that I realized is that like I mean I did listen to music. My parents did play music somewhat, but not that much, right? And I realized something now as an adult is that music wasn't that as big of a part of my life as I think it can be in some folks. And so what I realized that like the outcome of that was that my connection to my body has not been as like close as I would like it to be. Like I've been growing up much more in my head. Like I've been very intellectual for most of my whole life, and there was a disconnection from me and my body. I didn't feel as comfortable being with my body, and now I'm realizing like, oh shoot, like there's this disconnect there. And so like now I'm like trying to be more in my body and realizing the wisdom that we have in our body that I didn't realize before. Like I used to think that, my mind was, tenía todas had all the answers, but now I'm realizing, oh shit, there's so much wisdom and I'm so much more grounded when I'm connected to my body, and like dance and music are like really great ways to access that, but I didn't really have that. So I'm just curious for y'all, like how y'all feel connected to your, music and like your connection to your body.
To the body. I mean,
Yeah.
every Sunday.
I feel like you're super connected.
Yeah,
You are. I mean, like that's been.
I want to be like that.
Yeah.
Well, you know what it was? I think there was just something random. I remember like at one point I was like a kid, and one of the CDs that was in this CD tower, which is hilarious, was Pies Descalzos Sueños Blancos. That it's so funny to think about, like, okay, my dad, I mean, those CDs were bought by my dad, but
Yeah.
it's curious to think that he bought Shakira's first CD. So a lot of, like, I remember Olga Tañón was also there. So listening
I
to
forgot
Olga
about her.
Tañón. Yeah, so that was my shit.
Yeah.
And so I think it was like a little bit, I was so used to my dad playing on Sundays, but in that period where during the week, because my parents worked early, I was a latchkey kid, like
Yeah.
MTV music videos, bitch, while you're getting ready for middle school was my
Do you remember
jam.
MTV3?
MTV3, that's right, with the three-headed dog. That was their logo.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, the little...
Yeah. There's a name for that. But to answer your question, I think it was that, and there was always, the Shakira moment. I remember listening to a song on the album, and I was on the floor rolling around. And my mom-
Tortura? Oh, that wasn't that
no,
album.
that wasn't
but-
that album.
So
No, but I
good.
remember just rolling around on the ground, and my mom was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm dancing." And then I laughed because then, like, years later, I went to college and, like, I studied dance, and literally all of our modern classes started on the fucking floor. And I
Yeah.
was like, if my mom would see me now, oh my god. But so I think it was always that, and it's the groove that comes with it. There's
Yeah.
something about music and dance in that way that I find magical. So I think it's always been there for me for sure. I definitely say that I learned how to dance before I learned how to walk.
I love
What about
that.
you? What about dancing?
Two things came to mind when you were talking. Because I feel like there was always music in my house. Like my parents love blasting music. All the family parties siempre iba como una banda or like a mariachi norteño.
And you have a big ass family.
And it's a big family, yeah.
So.
And they all love to dance. Like my sister, my mom, my sister, my mom and my dad, they're always dancing. I feel like growing up with like such a traditional Mexican family, like I was a little shy to dance because I didn't want to be like the way I wanted to express myself was like too flamboyant, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I felt like I was like a little shy like at family parties, but when it was my friends, I didn't care.
Yeah.
And I feel like now growing up, when you go to like clubs que ponen like Paulina Rubio, Thalia, Gloria Trevi, I'm like, I wish I could have danced how I'm dancing at a gay club now.
Yeah.
Growing up when I heard those songs. You know what I mean? So I feel like now that we're getting older, finding safe spaces to like express ourselves to that kind of music, all the Latina pop girlies, like that's where I find joy now with other gay friends that I have.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do that growing up. You know what I mean?
That's a really interesting reflection because I also was very shy about dancing to a lot of music, and now I feel like much more comfortable. And I'm still on this journey, but like now I feel much more comfortable to be more expressive. And I wonder if it's because I'm not thinking about trying to move in a certain way, right? And maybe that's what you were thinking about too, right? Like you're like, I want to dance like this, but I don't think I can, so I have to like kind of move a little
tiptoe,
like.
or I'm like, who's watching me? Like my tia or my tío is probably judging, and I'm like, we have so many safe spaces where you could just like, I don't know, brincar y reírte, darte vueltas to like songs.
Okay, song number 2 in our top 5. What is a song that connects you to your body or makes you feel like in a safe space? Like the one you want to groove to, que está deliciosa. Que dices, uy, no, la tocan en el antro, dices, espérame. Es mi canción. Es mi canción, voy.
You know, I can't think of a specific song, but I can't think of an artist. Artist that like, you know, and I probably won't dance as like loud as I want to be, pero me inspira is El Alfa. If you know
El Alfa.
Okay.
I just feel like he, you know, like he like you cannot not move to El Alfa.
100%.
And just the energy that he brings, and it makes, and it's just, so I love that, like it me impulsa, you know what I'm saying? So I feel that. Yeah, I love that.
What about
I'm like, honestly, like Latina pop girls. I don't
the
know.
girlies?
Like Paulina, Thalia, Gloria Trevi,
Sí.
Alejandra Guzman. I feel like all those girls. Like anytime they play, I'm like, that's it.
Wait.
But I can't think of one specific song.
No?
I'm trying to think.
Salsa. Salsa es... baby,
yes.
pero una de las que me gusta, cómo fui a enamorarme de ti, and ven, devórame otra vez.
Devórame otra vez.
I've been having Que Bello stuck in my head all
Qué bello
week.
cuando me
And those
hablas.
what's the Monchi song? Esta...
Alexandra, Monchi y Alexandra.
Yeah, that song
Vuela,
is...
vuela.
No, la otra.
Hoja en blanco.
Hoja en Blanco, I think, yeah. It's been on my head
Ya
all
recibí
week.
tu carta, quise leerla y era en hoja en blanco.
No me la sé.
I love it.
No, if you hear it, you...
No, pues we have a Paleteras playlist.
I want to take salsa classes though, because I feel like even
Yeah.
cumbia, I feel like I could dance, especially when I'm a little tipsy. But I want to like moverme like better. You know what I mean?
Let's do it.
I need to do like a little
Yeah.
salsa class.
Let's do salsa class.
No, it's same for me because I feel like because you know I didn't feel that comfortable growing up dancing, but I love salsa,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I just want to feel more comfortable. Like I hear salsa, I feel like I want to move, but I don't have that many moves.
Yeah, you know
I like
what?
when bachata plays too. I can do
Yeah, same.
bachata.
Same.
But to me, I always tell people that my barometer, like a check-in, is like if I hear some music and I'm not responding like corporately, then something's wrong with me. Like
I feel
that's my shit. But what was your question? I'm sorry.
My question was gonna be like thinking back to your like being a teenager, because I have a song for this. Like there's a song that you can think of, or maybe even a genre or whatever, like sort of captures like that kind of like coming of age period for your life.
Y me solté el cabello.
Okay, perfect. That's song number 3.
That's a good song, no?
That's
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Is it really that for you?
I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I think...
I love that. Y me solté el cabello, me vestí. For
She was our
me-
ballet in a room.
For me, it's ska. And it's ska. But I think definitely one of my favorite songs is La Dosis Perfecta de Panteón Rococo. La de Hoy te vas, pero sé que volverás porque es lo que yo te di. No.
You know it? Or you just
I feel like I need to hear it.
Se las ponemos al rato. Not in that. But I think I was like so in high school, I definitely went to a lot more ska shows and I just remember that vibe. But any ska for me, I was in the pits for sure.
Okay. You were like in the mosh pit.
You
I
really
was in
much
the
pants? I can't do that.
I feel like you really have lived so many lives. Oh yeah, wait. So was like No Doubt, like were they kind of ska or not?
I think so. They have some ska songs.
Okay,
There's a song in Tragic Kingdom. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong.
Okay, gotcha.
But what's yours?
Well, I just think about like what I think about being in high school, like coming of age, is like realizing that I was queer and like being in the closet and not feeling like I was gonna ever do anything about it. And so I remember there's a song, and I started. That's when I started listening to a lot of mariachi. You know, like I feel like mariachi, you know, it's a lot about like, you know, what couldn't be, or like, you know, a lot of grief that's in a lot of mariachi, right? And so there's a song with Alejandro Fernandez sang that was called Si Tu Supieras.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if I've talked to you about this.
I don't know.
But he talks about like, you know, I think he's like in love with like his friend's like partner or something. And for me, I wasn't in love with, but it's more me just like having crushes on women, but not thinking that I could do anything about it. So it was like, you know, like Si Tu Supieras.
It's like a non-reciprocal love, no? Algo así.
Yeah. And so like I was like, oh, this is my song, and I would like sing it with so much passion, and just because I was like, oh, these are feelings I feel, but I can never do anything about. So I feel like that very much captures like my sort of, you know, coming of age high school.
Se está poniendo bueno el playlist.
Yeah.
Se está poniendo bueno el playlist.
Va a tener de todos los bookies.
Yeah.
You know who also
so I feel like mariachi was like a way, like for so many people, right? A way to cope, right? Because before people had therapy, right? Like our dads, en vez de ir a therapy, se estaban emborrachando y escuchando mariachi. That was the way, that's how they cope, no?
That's what I think my sad song option was, Yo no nací para amar de Juan Gabriel, because I was like, maybe I wasn't born to be loved. Because I felt, because that was like my queer song, you know? But it's so funny. This is a segue to the next question, in thinking about as like bicultural, bilingual folks, like, what is your relationship to like music in English versus music in Spanish? Because I mean, I think the songs that we're saying in Spanish say something about us collectively. And then as you're talking about turn of age, you know who also came to mind is I used to listen to Regina Spektor, Lily Allen, and like the Dresden Dolls. And ¿cómo se llama esta pinche banda? No sé, se me olvidó. But that's the next question. What's like your relationship in Spanish versus English?
I feel like for me, I grew up with more Spanish music, but it wasn't until middle school where I like started discovering like Michael Jackson, Beyonce, Destiny's Child, like who else? Etta James, and all like Aretha Franklin, like all those artists. And then I went through like a rabbit hole of that era. Okay. Or like even Janis Joplin, like those rock girlies. Yes. But I think I do listen to more Spanish music overall. Yeah. Like corridos, banda. I feel like that's like where I feel like when I'm sad, I'm like, let me put all like the románticas, dolidas. La Señora Dolida playlist is it for me. Like
wait, is
Amanda
that an
Miguel.
actual playlist? Can I look that up?
Yeah, just put Dolidas, and on like all the playlists, there's always like a Señora playlist with Dolida songs.
We need to go to Mentiras el Musical.
Where's that?
Where's that?
It's in Mexico. But
wait, is it the bar when they ponen puras Dolidas songs or no?
No, that's called Despecho.
But I want to go there. All those songs.
No, pero Mentiras el Musical, it's a musical. And it's like four different characters. Está la Yuri, la Dulce, Daniela, y Lupita. And it's all these women. But all of the songs are 80s Dolidas music. Amanda
that's
Miguel.
my vibe.
I have the playlist. I'll show it to you when we stop recording. That's so funny. What about your relationship between English and Spanish?
Yeah, I mean, music that touches my soul, and I found that to be a lot of both in Spanish and English. And in Spanish, it's been like a lot of mariachi music, and in English, it's been like soul music, R&B music, and that's what it's been for me. So I don't know, like I don't know that but I think maybe more Spanish music, un poquito más. No sé. What about you?
I think same Spanish. It's mostly all Spanish. It's always been Spanish. Yeah. Really. And I think sometimes I use like, now that I think about it, maybe like the music I listen to in English is more to like groove to and more to like dance to. I mean, because similarly,
it's like
it has more of like a function, whereas in Spanish it's more like heart.
Spanish feels like home.
It's
like,
home.
Yeah,
it's expression. It's That's why I love Timbiriche, Namanda Miguel, ya,
yes, that
corro,
whole-
vuelo, me acelero.
Rebelde.
Rebelde, bitch. Why do you think it was
That's
so, like, the concert was so...
I cried.
You guys go? You both went?
I went to the
Okay.
concert. Did you
Did you go
cried.
too?
Yeah, because I didn't get to go when I was
Did you
younger.
dress up?
I did.
You dressed
But
up?
I did. I
That's
dressed
hilarious.
up, but I wanted to go to their concert so bad, and this was like my biggest regret in life. My dad was like, "Oh, te voy a agarrar boletos," but they were all the way in the top, and I was like, "No,
Yeah.
I'll just wait till like next year."
And
that was the year that they like stopped.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my god, I never got to see Rebelde."
And then
And then I ran into one of the Rebelde cast like when I moved to LA, and I was like, my biggest regret was not going to your concert.
What
But
did
when
they
they
say? What did
released,
they
he
say
was
when
like,
you said that?
what? And I was like,
Who
but this
was
is like,
it? It was el Christopher Chávez.
yeah. I was like, oh my God, that's like childhood, like that whole band had stickers, you know what I mean? Like that was like our childhood. So going to the concert, like I cried. There were so many songs that I was like, just llorando.
Bitch, I knew the entire... And it's funny because I was in Mexico, but I flew from Mexico to LA just for the concert.
Wow.
And then I went to the concert that they did here at the Coliseum. I was like 15. And so they were like, oh my God, you know, the last concert that we did here was so special. I was like, how was that? But back then, I mean, we had seats all the way in the top at the Coliseum.
Yeah.
And then I randomly found a decent price for like floor tickets, third row from like the center.
For this new one.
For this new
Oh,
one.
yeah, same.
Girl, I was there and I was like, I'm here. I had a good time. I had a good time.
Wait, who was
so
your first
good.
concert?
Good question. My first concert, you know what? Now that I think about it, it might have been Rebelde. It was either Rebelde or Belanova.
Wow.
They did a show at the Nokia Theater back before it was the Microsoft.
I don't remember my first concert. You remember yours?
Mine was John Sebastian.
Did you go with your family?
Yeah, with my mom, my dad, and mi abuelito.
Wow.
So cute. I saw like the shirt from the concert. Yeah.
No, you
That's so
don't.
Yeah, and it was like salían caballos. That's when he did like the whole like
palenque.
yeah. It was really cute.
Do you know
Really cute.
what's
No me acuerdo.
what's a concert like a memorable concert?
Well, I've been going to Baja Beach Fest for like a few years, and that's like this reggaeton festival in Rosarito.
Okay.
And like it's cool because like you can be really close to the stage. Everyone's just on the beach, and I got to see Bad Bunny there. I've gotten to see Karol G there. I've gotten to see
That's cute.
Becky G. Yeah, so that's been really cool to be so close. Oh no, but one thing I was just gonna say about Spanish music is that I feel so grateful that we like because of the Spanish language, it's given us access to other genres of Spanish music.
Okay.
You know, like growing up Mexican and knowing those genres, and there's so many genres within Mexican music, right? But from there, like that's how I got to know about bachata, and I got to know about vallenato, which is a folk music from Colombia. Like I'm a big Fonseca fan and Carlos Vives fan and all of that. And I just like I feel very grateful for Spanish language music because it's allowed us to like explore the music of a whole region. So that's something that I was
Of a whole
reflecting
diaspora.
on.
Yeah.
The whole diaspora.
Yeah. So I thought our last song, song number 4, I think song number 5 can be a wild card for everybody. But song number 4 of our playlist would be, what's a song that makes you feel connected to your identity or culture? We started talking about this, whether it's queer, whether it's like, pero dices, güey, esta soy yo. De aquí vengo, mi mero mole.
Our queer icon, Ana Gabriel.
Ana Gabriel.
Wait, is she totally out or no?
I don't...
But a lot of the lyrics are it's like,
So is it
now
so
that you're
clear?
older, you're like,
Now
oh
you're
my
like,
God,
oh,
Simplemente
so
amigos. We were talking
Simplemente
about that earlier,
amigos,
yeah.
beige. Oh my God.
Or what is it, the one that's like,
¿Quién como tú?
Vámonos.
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 Pero ¿quién como tú también?
Oh yeah, ¿quién como tú?
¿Quién como tú?
Esa se la puedo dedicar a varios, man.
Also, Ricky Martin was like my like crush growing up.
Oh, same.
And
And
then
then he came out
yeah.
the closet and I was like, now I
Wait,
feel
you
like
guys had a
this
crush on him before he came out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit! That's
No,
how you.
it's-
That's how you know.
'Cause he was like the only Latino that like people that weren't Latino knew about. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, because
like,
of the World
yeah,
Cup.
yeah, for sure.
Living la vida loca.
Do you have one? I don't have one yet.
I mean,
I
our
mean,
queen.
it's always gonna be Beyonce. Okay, you know what?
Same.
I'm down.
We love
A
Beyonce.
song that I can always get down to. Oh, that it's like so me. Maybe this is because I'm in my sub era, but Cater to You.
Hey.
But especially Michelle's Bridge. I know people be talking shit about Michelle, but Michelle's Bridge and Cater to You is the best one. Through the good, the bad, the ups and the downs.
Dude, I remember
will
you
be
Baby
here
Boy
for you.
and Naughty Girl.
Baby Boy and
I
Naughty
feel like
Girl.
all those songs.
I love it.
I want to
Beyonce.
be her in my next life.
I know.
La Beyonce.
La Beyoncé.
La
Fíjate que
Beyoncé.
en México le dicen Beyoncé.
¿Ah?
En México le dicen la Beyoncé.
La
Oh, ¿en serio?
Instead of Beyoncé.
Oh, I just love nicknames in Mexico, right?
Sí, el avión.
But no one ever called you Pepe growing up, ¿verdad?
Nobody ever
that
called
wasn't
me
your
Pepe.
nickname. Because that's why
No.
my brother and my dad's name is Jose, and they were Pepes.
Yeah,
my brother's Pepe, but you didn't get that
no,
nickname,
it's because I
¿verdad?
literally had like a little situation. Siempre yo y los putos amores. No, but I had a little situation que una vez pues me presentó con sus amigos, ¿no? Y me dice, les presento a Pepe. Y yo...
¿Quién?
¿A quién es
y
Pepe?
me dice, es que pues no te llamas José, y no sabías que a los José se les dice Pepe. Y le dije, güey, no.
So you didn't know?
No, I didn't know. I called my mom after and I was like, madre, no sabía que se le decía Pepe.
¿En toda tu vida no sabías
Toda
eso?
mi vida. And my mom, I love that she was like, do you look like a Pepe? And I was like, damn, bitch. And so then after with the situation, I was like,
The
¿sabes
shade.
qué? Bueno, está bien Pepe, pero como que... Está muy masculino y pues no me identifico. And then he was like, pues Pepita.
Pepita.
And I was
okay.
like, down. Y si te portas mal, la Pepa.
That's the Cuarto Oscuro nickname.
La
Cuarto
Pepa.
oscuro. Oh my God.
Hey. Wait, do you have a nickname?
My mom called me Cesarín.
Cesarín.
Just like joke. Like,
Does anyone still call you?
Cesarín.
Does anyone still call you that? Does your mom still call you that?
Yeah, sometimes. Or my abuelito too. He's like, Cesarín, ¿dónde está? Like,
Cesarín.
if I'm
that's
in
really
Mexico, he's like,
cute.
Cesarín.
That's hilarious.
Or my mom just
Okay.
calls me Cesarín. I don't know.
Okay.
That's like the only nickname I have.
Okay, my family calls me, one nickname is Cheli.
Cheli.
And then the other one is...
Why don't we call you that?
La Cheli.
You can call me that. And the other one is Shay. My cousins in Mexico, my younger
Shay?
cousins started
Hey,
calling me
Shay.
Shay. The Ana-Shelia, they started calling me Shay.
La
And I was
Shay.
like, oh, that's cute. I like that.
Like Shay
It's not
Victorini.
too like a...
Richie.
Yeah, and it's not too like little girl. It's like a little bit kind of androgynous. I kind of like it.
We're rebranding you.
So
Shay
you guys-
Victorini.
Es tu nombre artístico.
So you guys...
Es tu
I
nombre,
like it.
Es tu nombre de la noche.
Shay Victorini.
Shay Victorini.
It's Victorini.
Bueno, Paletitas, with that, we've made it to the end of this first segment. But of course, we want to hear from you. So make sure you drop in the comments. What are some of the songs that hit you? Like, what would you add to the playlist? Para que después de estos, when this episode releases, you'll have a Las Paleteras playlist. Ay.
That's my song.
Okay, we got a new paletita here with us.
I'm all nervous. Hola. I'm Vale.
Well, paletita, Val, we always ask, what is paleta flavor would you be?
Ooh, okay, I'm kind of vibing with like mame or mango.
We never heard that before.
Kind of tropical, like
No,
creamy.
mame.
Mame, ¿por qué? No, never mind. ¿Por qué?
¿Por qué mame? ¿Quién te mamó?
That's the tea. That's the tea right there.
Ay, qué
She doesn't kiss and
rico.
tell.
I'm Vale. I'm a ceramic artist. I'm a woman of the world. You know?
Ella.
She's beautiful.
Made us beat.
Oh yeah, I'm your MUA today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she
she
did
gave me
it.
a new face.
We wanted to ask you to think about este. Oh my God, I just realized that the acronym of MUA is moi.
Oh,
Porque besito.
mwah, mwah, mwah.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. Sorry. But we wanted to ask with the theme of the episode, what are some songs que te mueven, que te hacen llorar? What are some of your top 5 songs?
Okay, so the other night I cried to Cariñito by Rusi. It's just like so sweet and tender and just like makes me feel warm. So I cried under the full moon to that song.
Yeah, under the full moon.
You're watching yourself in the mirror.
I
Like,
know, I'm like
Yeah.
crying.
You're like
Playing in
crying
the
in the mirror.
background.
No, I was driving under the moon,
that's a
it
vibe,
just
yeah.
was looking really sweet.
You got a convertible?
No, in my windows, boy.
Sorry, I literally pictured a convertible and a scarf, flying in the wind.
The sunroof is open.
That's not really something. Yeah, exactly.
wind.
I saw it. Sorry, but I saw it. What's one, for example, that you're like, you got to perrear? Like that one you're about to leave the party, but the DJ plays it, you're like, okay, stop.
Okay, I'm a hip hop girly.
Yes.
So I like throwing some ass and I don't know, a little genuine. I've been loving Quien Más. Wow, I'm forgetting their name. Blue Blux Clan. So it's just like
Yes.
really ratchet. I'm just
love
like
that.
She's a
feeling
ratchet
super
girl.
sexy. So
I love it.
Juno.
Juno.
She's ratchet, but like
Juno.
Toquisha. Toquisha.
Oh, yes,
Can't forget
Toquisha.
Toquisha.
Tengo delincuente en mi habitación.
Hey.
We'll talk offline about our theories about Toquisha or our comments.
Yes. Okay, well, let me get you some paletas.
Oh,
You brought us some
Let me get you
paletitas.
some paletas.
Hey.
Mango.
Gracias.
Well, you know what song I did cry the other day too? Listen. Oh, I cried to Quisiera Saber the other day.
Who's that by?
Well, Karin Leon has a cover. Quisiera saber, but then Juanga.
Juanga, is it Juanga?
Yeah, the original is Juanga.
What song did Juanga not write?
Right.
He was in everything.
He wrote all the
They were in
iconic songs.
everything.
Over 1,500 songs.
Wait, you guys, who is the new Juanga?
Yo could not be a new Juanga.
The
Juanga.
fact that I asked that question. Okay, I take
Canceled.
that back.
Okay.
Take that back.
Bueno, pues
Venga.
chicas, las dejo. Disfruten.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
And that's how you do it.
Well, y'all, this is our favorite section that we have in Las Paleteras. Y les vamos a tener una sorpresita aquí a our host porque no sabían esta, pero this is, ¿sabías que? ¿Sabías que? This is actually our season finale episode. Así como lo oyeron, this episode we wanted to also take a moment to reflect back. So, amigas, de ¿sabías que? I'm sorry for la sorpresita, but I wanted to get your candid ass reactions. So, this is our season finale.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
ma'am. So we just wanted to think sometimes, what do you think? Ya tenemos viewers, bitch.
Saca el tamborazo a la botella.
Saqué el tamborazo a la botella. Pero ya tenemos viewers. How do you feel after these?
I feel like it's like a mix of emotions. Because also there's been a lot of people that I didn't expect to listen or tune in. They have commented or have like reached out and I'm like, oh, that's so cute. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like a cute surprise when someone tells you, or even, I went to an event with our producers and someone like stopped us and was like, oh, I started listening and like, I think my friend would be a really good guest. And like, it just like flowed so organically. And I'm like, you made our night by just like telling us that you've like tuned in. I don't know.
Yeah.
We
I
are
feel like-
grateful to you, Paletitas.
Yeah, so grateful.
much.
You are out there. You know what's so funny? Similarly, I mean, porque se sabe que yo estoy en México, amigas. I have friends in Mexico who are like, oh my God, I watch Las Paleteras, pero no les entiendo porque no sé el inglés. Esto es para ti, amor. Esto es para ti. But even the chacalitos, bitch, they be watching, and I have like 2 or 3 que le dan like a las stories. And I'm like, ay, nos apoyan.
Wait, you know we should
Yeah.
leave our QR codes en los cuartos oscuros.
Cuartos en los cuartos oscuros. Ay,
You
perra.
guys.
We're gonna
That's
start putting
oscuro,
QR. Oh no,
you
it's
guys.
dark.
It's too
Glow
dark,
in the
no?
dark ones.
It's too dark, no?
Go in the dark
A
ones.
little paletita, and it's like
Put some stickers up in there, no? Escaneame. Escaneame.
pa una sorpresa.
How you feel?
It feels really beautiful, to be honest. Like, I think that I feel like we've really been accomplishing what we wanted. And like, it's beautiful to say like we had an intention and then see listeners reflect that back to us, right? And like, I've had friends that have told me that they're like, yeah, it feels like therapy, but like way more fun. And I'm like, oh, I love that, right? Or like, I'm listening and it makes me want to be more free and like an authentic version of myself. And this is like, these are, straight Latino friends of mine. It's just really thinking about our audience as just really anybody who wants to be more free, that wants to feel seen, that wants to be more liberated and wants to have fun while they're exploring these topics. And so just remembering that like, we're all queer, but the lens that we're looking at things is very liberatory, and that's for really anybody and wherever they are in their own journey of trying to be a little bit more themselves. And how many of us have felt boxed in by expectations, not just queer people, right? Everybody feels that way, right? So I think that's been really powerful to see that our intention is reflected back in what our audience is sharing with us. So that's felt really beautiful to me. And I think the other big reflection for me is just like really trusting in my intuition. I think I had a sort of a vision for what I wanted to create with you all, and not exactly knowing how that was going to happen or when it was going to happen, and just thinking about letting things sort of be, not forcing things, and how beautiful when you kind of like sometimes it's not you don't necessarily need to quit things, but you have to pivot, and being kind of knowing what the difference is. And it's been really beautiful, like with the whole team. We have such a beautiful team, and it all kind of came together very organically, and it's a reminder of like, don't force things, trust in things, keep, seeing how things evolve on their own. So that's been really
100%.
beautiful.
I love that. I'm still mad about 2 things. One, there's a couple of episodes where nobody told me I was looking like a fucking greñuda. Episode 5 about religion. No mames, amigas, me veía de la
Se te metió un
fregada.
chamuco that episode.
Bro, it was so bad. I was like, ando bien greñuda. ¿Quién me dijo que sí? And I love it que le dije a la productora y bien liosa la cabrona de que, oh, I thought that was intentional. No, perra. It wasn't. And the other
It was
thing,
a look.
No,
What else
the
are you
other-
mad about? What else are you mad
The
about?
other thing I'm mad about is, but also mucho amor and a big shout out to our editor, Augusto. We love you so much.
We do.
But motherfucker, every time I'm like, Augusto, don't put that in the episode. El cabrón que hace, lo pone en el episodio. A ver, ponle esta también, güey. Sorry, but I love you. No, I think everything that you said has been really, really true and really, really fun. And also just to see, like, yeah, at first we talked a little bit about, you know, what it means. Me, I'm in Mexico. We all have a connection about Mexico, which we talked about in one of our episodes with Joanna. So that's really exciting to talk about
Yeah.
home. It's beautiful that we all share Mexico, and I think we all had that first vision of like, you know, I'm in Mexico at the moment. But I feel like what's happening even in this season that we now know that there's audiences both in the US and we're building one in Mexico, it's like we've become like a transnational podcast. So now it's kind of cool to think about. This is kind of a little bit of manifesting, and we could end this with this episode. Porque vamos a llegar al final. So manifestations for season 2. Y ustedes también ahí en casita. Write some things that you want us to include next season topics, but guests. That, a ver, paletitas, what do you want to manifest? People, topics for season 2, segments. Que también sabemos que aquí han andado de periodistas aquí.
I really
I know.
love the
Well, then I was
putiavión.
going to say that. That's the first thing
Putivuelo idea.
that's one of the things that comes to mind is like, it was really beautiful to go to Atlanta and be part of Mi Gentes Lánzate Festival. And I think that, you know, like I don't want to just be a podcast. I want to be a platform that's amplifying different voices, not just here, but on the streets. And it just makes it feel more real to be talking to people in the moment. And I think it was also a really beautiful moment for us as a group. And of course, you were very missed. But I do think that it really made us also bond more as a team. And so I want to bring more of that and have people, you know, pay us to like get out and and cover events that really, you know, celebrate the work that a lot of organizations are doing. Really important, beautiful work, and that felt really special. So more of that.
Yeah, more of that. And the team bonding also. I know I couldn't come to Atlanta, but I feel even that we've had like some like team moments. Like, you know, you and I've met up in Mexico twice already.
Yeah.
And we've seen each other. We've worked literally at a little place out of
Yeah,
Mexico.
it's so cute.
I've been able to stay with the producers when I come in town. You know what I mean?
You have a relationship with our editor who's also based in Mexico City, and that you guys got really close.
We
You
go
like
out and stuff. It's
My
like
prima helped out.
The prima helped out.
Yeah.
Es que allá el equipito de México dijimos, pues si van a salir estas también nosotros. And we go.
Yeah,
And we
but
do our
speaking of
thing.
transnational, I mean, also, your prima, but also,
The
I mean,
prima,
that's not, she's in the US, but also my prima, who's also
And
in,
your
in,
prima,
in Mexico.
yeah.
And I think that's been really beautiful is how, for me, like a lesson that I've taken from this project is like how important relationships are. You don't know when they're going to come back into your life, but nurture them, y'all. That's such an important lesson for me. Nurture those relationships with people that you care about, those connections that you care about, because you don't know when you might end up working together. And I think us coming together is really a manifestation of those relationships that we all nurtured. And I think it's beautiful. And I think especially as Latinos, as Mexicanos, is like seeing when our family can come in. That's such a Mexican Latino thing. It's like, oh yeah, our primas, your prima's in, my prima's in this freaking project. You know, my prima and her partner did our jingle. And I think when I went to go visit her.
Las Paleteras.
We're gonna have a live show soon.
I'll invite her, right?
That'd be a cute manifestation. A live show.
Having more artists too. I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like we're like a little paletita family. Because
Yeah,
even
I mean,
going to
there's-
these events, we're running into people that like already tune in, that want to be part of it as guests. So it's like nice that we have like, I don't know, it's almost like a little safety net sometimes.
I've had folks reach out and be like, when are you gonna invite me to be a guest? And I was like, oh, okay. Okay, let's talk about it. You know, like all of a sudden. What's something you're manifesting? You mentioned a live show.
I love the events.
Is that
Yeah, I love
the events.
I love like going to the events, giving other people a platform too, because people are doing amazing work and we need to amplify them. Brand deals, we need brand partnerships, a live show. I feel like having like
A live show would be
music
so
artists.
fun.
I don't know, I feel like there's something we could do.
Yeah.
Like little segments too.
Little segments.
Yeah.
You know, I'm piggyback off of that because that's what I was thinking, especially now. I mean, sort of how we're establishing and learning that, you know, being transnational is a good thing, you know what I mean? And like being in Mexico at the moment, like I know similar things that are going on in Mexico. So I was like, maybe, you know, working with our editor, Augusto, like the Mexico City team can also help produce some content and some segments for us. And that'd be kind of fun.
And we need to go out there to film.
And we need to do
I'm always down to go to
Las
Mexico.
Paleteras in Mexico.
Las
City.
Paleteras
I mean,
in
it's happening.
Mexico.
It's going to happen.
It's happening. It's already in the works.
It's already in the works.
Let's
I mean,
do
we've been
it.
talking about it. It's happening.
Sí, it's
you know?
happening. It's happening.
Las Paleteras take over Mexico City.
Bueno, tanto así no. Pero
Tanto así no.
así no.
Let's be careful.
Augusto, don't put that in there.
No, Augusto,
Sí, ponlo,
que arda esta perra, que arda. Ay, no.
And then we're gonna go to the rancho. Then we should we should do an
Fumígala.
episode in the rancho.
Fúmela. ¿Cómo se dice?
Rancho.
Fúmela.
En los agaves.
Fúnala.
Funala, my bad. See, that's how you know I'm like still working on my.
No.
Anyway.
Or we needed like a
Fúnala.
different backdrop for some of the new for some of that.
You know, it'd be fun.
So it looks like we're traveling.
So it looks like we're traveling.
We're traveling.
En la playa, quiero playa
playa, queremos
productora
la
y después,
playa.
boom.
Boom.
Bueno,
Space.
I think it's also important, you know, we also have to say, I think it's beautiful to give a big thanks to the audience and to the Las Paletitas. I think, you know, every time we start off with Hola Las Paletitas, it's kind of cute to know that there is a paletita out in the background. So there's going to be a little call to action, amigas. Ya les di una, pero remember, if you really like what we're doing, please like them. Please share our videos. And this is going to help us understand, you know, what kind of content you're wanting. So subscribe, share with your friends. Díganle a las tías, a las abuelas, a las comadres. También, you know, we're accessible for folks. And write comments. Amiga, review our shit. Aunque sea no me gusta. Anda la nalgona de greñuda.
Pero si se escribe no me gusta, de todas maneras, denos 5 estrellas. Por
Sí, 5 estrellas. Aunque no te guste, bebé. 5
No es la
estrellas.
verdad, pero danos 5 estrellas. I'm kidding.
And so we wanted to make sure to thank you all for joining our inaugural season of Las Paleteras. We love you, Paletitas, and thank you for sticking with us from day one. Again, spread the word, comment, like, and subscribe to us, Las Paleteras, porque la vida es más sabrosa con nosotras, porque somos
Las Paleteras.
Las Paleteras.
Las Paleteras. We need a remix for season 2.
Hi, Paletitas. This podcast is produced by Joel and Elpidio Perez, along with your hosts. Las Paleteras is edited by Augusto Martinez, with music by Cintia Morado and Ingrid Guijarro. Special thanks to our friends at Mitu and Sonoro for production support.